Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have an announcement to make on this show. Tony Finau won this past week. And the guy sitting to my right through a screen accurately predicted it. Now, granted, I will in fact toot my own horn. I did say that he was going to be like a guy that I picked to win.
You did nod your head in acceptance in the full clip, which you guys can watch last week's episode on YouTube, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia.
But my friend, you just nailed it on the head.
First dub in the book. Have we correctly predicted winners in the past on this show?
Oh yes, a few times. We took Hideki at last year's Zozo.
That's right.
I took Max Homa at this year's 49th to go back to back. I think outside of that, those are the only two.
Sophia's picked somebody too, I think.
Sophia also took Homa with me for the 40net. There was another pick. Oh God,
there definitely was somebody else that I'm blanking on.
We didn't get any majors right. We've gotten a lot of top fives, but like wins, we've had probably 4 or 5 in show history. This being though probably one of the biggest ones because it was just a wild card event because no one really knew what was going to happen. It was a good field, wasn't a great field, and yet like Tony Finau just dominated. What, like a 4-stroke victory? I think it was something I've seen.
Yeah, I want to say it was. Let's see.
I want to say it was like a 4-stroke win. He finished at like 15 under, I think.
Yep, he finished minus 16, and then Tom Alexander.
Yep,
he finished minus 12.
There you go. So Tony Finau, the big winner. Shout out to KB for getting the beer money right on the head.
Is it okay to say that Tony Finau is firmly entrenched now as one of #my guys?
He's always been one of my guys.
I've always liked him. I've always been a fan. But who my guys are. Willie Z is a my guy. Yeah. Harry Higgs is just a pod guy. I think who was homeboy that
Harry Higgs is basically God.
Who's my Canadian sensation?
Mackenzie Hughes?
No.
Oh, Corey Connors.
Corey Connors is my guy.
Yeah, you like Corey Connors a lot.
And I think Tony Finau is welcome to the club, my friend.
Finau was always third on my list. I've always liked JT. I've always been on the Homa train just because of the Twitter base that he has.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony for me has always been somebody who he was a great putter. He basically gives it a half swing. I think he was with Amanda Balionis and I was doing full swings. I was hitting it 400 yards. He can hit it a country mile, but he's oh well, it's too wildly inaccurate. And then he also made a really funny jab at Bryson DeChambeau about doing the same thing. But he still hit the 340. But if Tony Finau isn't already one of your guys, I'm going to give you a reason to make him your guy. We're going to lead the show here with the resurgence of Tony Finau. Welcome into the Get in the Hole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Kyle Bennett here. On a Wednesday afternoon, a little bit of a different swing. We had a very, very busy schedule, but we're back here in the world of golf. Not much news to really curtail. We're gonna preview the RSM Classic at Sea Island, the final event of the fall swing here on the calendar. A lot of news with Tiger, a lot of news with Rory. We're gonna get all into it. But the resurgence of Tony Finau, he had one win at the Puerto Rico Open in his first 185 starts on the PGA Tour. That was back in 2016. I reported this back when John was with me. Players to win the Puerto Rico Open in the last 20 years, only 2 players have won an event following their win at the Puerto Rico, and it was Tony Finau and Victor Hovland when he won last year at Mayakoba. Tony Finau now has 3 wins this calendar year, dating back to last season. He went back-to-back at the 3M and the Rocket Mortgage, and now he's won here. in the 2022 calendar year, 1 win this season, 3 wins overall during the year. He has 4 wins over his last 30 PGA Tour events, which is like, when you think about it,
it's pretty crazy.
In relation to everybody else, the only other person who matches up is Jon Rahm from 2 years ago and Scottie Scheffler last year. No one has that number. And I think like Tiger Woods did, obviously, like in the past. The last time he was top 10 in the world was back at the Northern Trust in 2021 when John and I went to the event, had a massive like hurricane storm.
You were on the official PGA Tour social media.
We were in fact. We got all the way there for the 3rd round, watched Finau the entire day, couldn't watch him on the final day. Monday finish, and he won against Cameron Smith. Got into the top 10. He was ninth overall. Pushed back to 12th. Now he's finally back into the top 10. And I'm going to propose a question to you right now. If Tony isn't one of your guys, I think he will be now. Has he officially hit the superstar level because of his overall ability? When you look at the top 10 players overall, hold on, let me pull up this list.
That's
to kind of give you an idea of the official World Golf rankings right now. 1 through 10. Obviously, Rory's number 1. Followed by Scotty, Cameron Smith. We're going to take him off of the docket. Cantlay, Rahm, Schauffele, Zalatoris, Thomas, Fitzpatrick, Morikawa's 10, Finau's 11th. But I think Tony Finau more than deserves the appreciation to be in that top 10. Technically, he is top 10 if you exclude Cameron Smith being the Live Golf Bennett Arnold he is. But what do we think? Like, I think Tony Finau right now at his peak is arguably better than Colin. I wouldn't say better than Fitzpatrick. They're very, very similar. He's a better putter overall than Zalatoris. So, I mean, I kind of give him the edge there to a degree. But, like, Tony Finau, where does he now sit among the top players in the world?
It's a great question. Thinking about, like, those names that you rattled off, obviously, like, everyone in the world knows who Rory is.
Yeah.
A lot of people now know who Scottie Scheffler is.
Hopefully everyone does. I mean,
yeah. You live under a rock if you don't.
Look, realistically, I'm not going to say he's better than anybody in the top 5 because he simply isn't.
Who was the top 5 again without Cam Smith?
Rory, Scotty, Cantlay, Rahm, and Schauffele.
I mean, I'm here to play devil's advocate. And I might sound dumb. So if I sound dumb to the golf community, I apologize. But
you're going to sound dumb if you say he's better than any 5 of those.
I'm not saying he's better, but I'm saying in terms of who we've heard more about over the last calendar year because of how well he's played. I mean, Tony Finau's been in the public eye of golf more than Jon Rahm.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time that, like, me as a casual fan who, like, pays attention on social media, sometimes turns on, a Sunday or whatever, like, I've certainly heard and seen Tony Finau's name in my point of view much more than Jon Rahm's in 2022.
So Rahm won the Mexico Open. Now that's his last win to date,
right,
which came back all the way.
That was a long ass time ago.
That was like May, I think. But over the last 3 weeks, he's won the Spanish Open. He won the PGA BMW in Europe. So it's really been like European stuff. But he's still at that overall peak, being that they were OWGR events. I would say in the media, he's more high profile and more talked about than Xander because outside of Xander's win at the Travelers, he has not been able to finish top 5 in a single event, in a single major big time event since the 2020 Masters.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's been teetering. He's been very good. He won Olympic gold. Good for him. But in terms of the last 18 months, I would put Tony Finau with 4 wins over Schauffele with 1. I would even probably put him over Zalatoris. Yeah, his first tour win at the FedEx St. Jude in the playoffs was huge, but he's still a bad putter. He's taught everyone to ball strike his way to wins, where Finau can at least get his way through an all-around game. I think if you pit Zalatoris and Finau one-on-one out of 10 times, I think Finau will win 7 times. It's very there.
It'd be pretty electric.
Slight. It's right there. I think JT's underrated at 7. Fitzpatrick's underrated at 8. Morikawa's underrated at 9. And look, Morikawa hasn't been able to putt the broadside of a barn. in the last, I don't know, 30 events. So
I think Tony Finau, I think in the grand scheme of like, when you're doing like a ranking or something, which I'll be talking to Steve about something YouTube content potentially.
Oh, hello.
Very soon that popped in my brain last night. Late night thoughts.
Late night talking. Sorry.
More
higher styles.
I think Tony Finau is in that rank level of like Willie Z, of Colin, like in terms of just like we're talking about him and he's performing and he's winning. Like he's in that tier, and the only tier above it I would say is like the Rory, the Scotty Scheffler right now, like those top pantheon names. And obviously you're gonna throw in the wider scape of like all timers, like you're gonna throw Tiger in that top tier and everything like that. But I think right now Tony's in like that 1A tier, simply like performance based.
Yeah.
Not only the fact that he's just fucking cool too.
He is really cool.
He gets swag points out the ass from me.
Do you remember when he wore that really ugly Nike pink and brown but
sweater? He's the only person that could pull it off, and that's what makes it cool.
I think it was only funny because when I looked it up on the Nike store, it was on clearance. I'm like, this guy definitely like didn't know what to wear. Went to like a secondary store or like the Nike.
Yeah, we were at Eastland when he was wearing that. I think.
I was like, what was that? That was for the Masters.
That was Masters weekend.
I'm like, he was definitely like down in Georgia. Like he probably got like coffee on his polo that morning. I was like, fuck, I don't have another like thing to wear. Could have gone to Nike and been like, hey, like, can I get a polo like shipped here for like the overnight for tomorrow?
He was dripping in that though.
And he went to like Dick's Sporting Goods in the clearance rack, pulled it right off.
He got himself. That was the Nike Neapolitan sweater.
Oh my god, it's so true too.
But he's the only person on the PGA Tour, in my opinion, that could pull that off.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that thing is
anyone else that tries to put that on looks like the kid from A Christmas Story putting on the bunny pajamas.
Not to mention, I do think that like his, I think like as a player, as diverse as he is now, I don't think he's African American, but he's Samoan. So I don't know if he's black by race, but he's Samoan, so he's Pacific Islander. He's so unique in that sense because he's basically one of one.
He is Tongan and Samoan.
What is Tongan?
Tongan is
definitely an island in the Pacific. I can almost guarantee that. I just don't know where.
Yeah, it's like let's see. It's like kind of near Hawaii.
All right. Yeah. So overall, Pacific Islander, like he's one of one in that sense. There aren't many Pacific Islanders that aren't like truly Asian when you think about it.
Can you name Tony Finau's two famous athlete cousins?
Oh man, famous athlete cousins.
He has two of them.
They definitely play football.
One played football and is retired. One is a NBA basketball player.
Played football? All right, hold on. The one in the NBA, does he currently play in the NBA?
I believe so.
Like active NBA player?
He played last season. He's currently a free agent.
All right. There are only two Pacific Islander football players that I know of. One of them's Haloti Ngata, and the other one is Danny Shelton.
You got it on the first one. Haloti Ngata is his cousin.
All right, that's already an elite athletic family. I don't know a single Pacific Islander basketball player.
Jabari Parker is Tony Finau's cousin.
Jabari Parker? Oh,
what a family!
I'm actually now looking at his Wikipedia. He's also a Mormon.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
He
goes to church with Bryce Harper, probably.
Imagine Tony Finau.
He's from Utah.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, that's what it says.
All right,
that's where he was born.
That would make sense. I would love to see Tony Finau star in the Book of Mormon. Ding dong. My name is Elder Finau.
We should do that just off pod or something content wise. Cast the Book of Mormon with Mormon athletes.
Can Zach Wilson be the lead? Like,
beware of everyone else. Everyone else, beware of your mothers.
Zach Wilson in Uganda, just hitting on all the moms. Then you have Tony Finau trying to actually profess his faith. Are there any gay Mormon athletes? Because there is the one guy in that play.
Good question.
Who? Well, what's the one song? It's like turn it off when they talk about like suppressing your gay thoughts. Oh my god, that play is ridiculous.
Yes,
like over the top. If it was written, if it wasn't like grandfathered in as like an already like known wrongdoing show, it would have been canceled in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it makes sense why the guys from South Park would have arbitrarily wanted to make this. But yeah, so Tony Finau, he's been on a total resurgence, and to get off tangent here, I think he's absolutely considered a top 10 golfer in the world, and he should be. And the fact that he's like barely outside of it is kind of ridiculous. Again, he'll be at the Century in January. He'll probably play in the Hero World Challenge with Tiger. And we'll most likely see another large-scale performance from Tony Finau, and hopefully something even bigger. With that being said,
can Tony play for the? Can he get the creature crown? That's the next thing.
I mean, if he does, he might be like the number one golfer in the world
easily. And we got to find a company that is willing to sit down with us and help us design an actual creature crown.
Trophy Smack?
Please?
Let me know. With that being said, there is a creature that's on the prowl, and he's coming in very hot. Tiger Woods is back in the game of golf. Return of the Cat.
Such a banger of a song. And you know what else is back, Steve?
What?
Merch. Underground Sports Philadelphia merch is back. By the time you guys are listening to this, hopefully our own personal merch will be up live on PHI Apparel Company store. And again, the whole podcast is brought to you by PHI Apparel Company, who provide unique designs and high-quality clothing for the great fans of golf with their original designs for all. There's no doubt you guys will stand out in the crowd, at the bar, on the course. And I did get confirmation, Steve. I don't know if I told you this. We will have hats.
Oh, no way.
We will have hats available.
Thing I've been waiting on for literally like years.
Hats will be available soon. It'll be shirts first rolling out, and then down the line we will have hats. But guys, Black Friday, believe it or not, I was talking at my day job this week, and it blew my mind. The Thanksgiving and Black Friday are next week. Get a jump start on the shopping. Get to going. Support your favorite brands here at Underground Sports Philadelphia, and go to phiapparel.co and use our code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your order. Any apparel at phiapparel.co. That's code UNDERGROUND for 10% off at phiapparel.co.
The first to get in the whole piece of merch I'm putting out is literally just going to be a small embroidered tiger.
That's what we need. We need
just
that.
Like a simple Tiger Woods t-shirt.
Yep. 100%. I'm all in.
So we have Tony the Tiger, but we have the actual big cat. So Tiger Woods is back in the golf world, has officially announced he will in fact be playing the entire month of December. Now, Kyle, this is important.
Santa came early, baby.
Santa came really early. And Santa's kind of balding and has beautiful black hair. Tiger Woods has announced he will be playing the Hero World Challenge, his own event. He will be battling for his own creature crown, which is kind of a boss man move.
Yes.
Like, you win your own event, you bring your trophy that you drove to the event, and you bring it home.
That's some kingpin shit.
That would be like elite of the elite. Then he's playing the match, which we talked about it last week. Go listen to
told the OG about the match and the semantics of it. He's very excited.
Dude, it's going to be freaking lit. Him and Rory, we're going to talk more about Rory and Tiger in a bit, but Rory and Tiger, JT, and Jordan Spieth. And then he's playing the following week with Charlie, who, by the way, if you haven't seen Charlie Woods play golf in the last month, first of all, when you saw him last year, he was like this little petite 11-year-old. He now looks like a full-ass man. Like he hit the 1/10 life growth spurt, and he's now like 5'6", and he hits the ball. He looks like Rory actually when he swings. It's like kind of weird. He has the mannerisms of Tiger Woods, but the golf swing of Rory. It's freaky. And when Charlie Woods goes to Stanford like his papa, and he leaves after 2 years, and he goes pro, and he wins his first event when he's like 19, and he's wearing the really cool fedora with the funky ass clothes like Tony Finau would probably. We're gonna be like, yo, this guy is like the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. It's freaky. But with that being said, Tiger Woods is playing golf in all of December, and you can watch him in all of your glory every single day because the Golf Channel has said they're gonna air every single golf shot Tiger Woods is hitting.
Yes,
which is like I might not leave my chair at home for the next 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks.
That is literally the meme where you're chilling and then come forward.
No, it's gonna be like I'm gonna post the meme when Charlie's hitting and the Tiger's hitting. And it's gonna be the Leo meme with the coffee and the cigarette. And he's like,
100%.
So yeah, so Tiger Woods is back.
Golf Channel's about to be on X Games mode.
There is nothing else I could say about this except like, oh my god, because like
the producers at Golf Channel are gonna be like the Jimmy Butler meme in the bubble.
Dude, they're gonna have an aneurysm. Like the second
they're gonna be the Popeyes worker outside at the bench, just like.
It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. But with that being said, too, I want to acknowledge how like crazy the comeback of Tiger Woods is, and it all leads off with an interview with Rory McIlroy this past week, who basically confirmed that Tiger won the PIP for the second straight year. Now, with that being said, I ran through the accolades of Tiger versus Rory this year. And like, first of all, this might speak more to like how bad the PIP is as a system, and it's going to change this season. But from what it was, these are the accolades between Tiger and Rory. We're going to compare and contrast the GOATs here. Get your Venn diagrams ready. It's like play middle school all over again. Tiger played 9 rounds of golf. 9 rounds, 3 majors, 4 at the Masters, 3 at the PGA, 2 at the Open. In March, he posted a 20-second video of him just hitting golf shots with the caption "Progress," and it became the most retweeted and liked tweet on golf Twitter like history. He attended the BMW Championship, didn't play in it because he didn't qualify for the playoffs. Attended a players-only meeting. Announced a venture with Rory McIlroy over this internet golfing league, the TGC. The players-only meeting led to widespread change thanks to Live Golf, led by Tiger and Rory and Ricky Fowler. And then the only other thing he did of note was at a interview on Tuesday at the Open, he shit on Live Golf. That's all Tiger did the entire year. He played 9 rounds of golf, made some remarks about Live Golf, announced a new venture, and took some practice shots. Rory McIlroy won the FedEx Cup for the 3rd time. He had 3 wins, the 3 wins this calendar year, back-to-back at the CJ and the RBC Canadian Open. He finished 20 of 23 events inside of the top 20. He had 2 missed cuts and 1 T33 at the Players. He's the only player this year and over the last decade to finish top 10 in every single major. He actually finished top 8 in all 4 majors. He became the quote-unquote self-proclaimed protector of the PGA and battled through Live Golf. He announced his venture with Tiger Woods, and he earned over $40 million. And he still couldn't beat Tiger Woods in the PIP. Maybe
that's crazy.
Maybe it's just more about what the PIP stands for rather than the actual on field. But like, my God.
Yeah, because I mean, like when I look back at 2022, which we'll do next month.
We're doing it today. Watch out.
Fair enough,
sir.
Well, I mean, as a whole, like when you look back on the year and you remember everything from the calendar year, like I still think the number one moment. And it might be because we were having an event. The Rory Collin thing, like that is like firmly like rent free in my brain.
We're gonna get into that on the backside of the show, and you might not like my take here on that because it isn't. Actually, I don't even have it listed. Jeez, that's an honorable mention. I might shuffle it around. We'll say, but no, you're right. Like,
But talking about like these two guys in particular, like
yeah,
that's something that like went mega viral. Like not only on golf Twitter, but people were talking. Like everyone was talking. When you have Pat McAfee talking about something, you know it's going crazy.
Well, like Rory had that. He had his win at the RBC, and then he critiqued Greg Norman and was like, "Oh, I got my 21st win, better than somebody else I know."
Mm-hmm.
He battled through like as the spokesperson for Live Golf against Live Golf while Tiger was away and battling his recovery. So he had this. He was literally the number one player in the world, both literally now.
We photoshopped his face on Jon Snow.
Yeah, like nothing else can really be said about how important he actually was this year, and the fact that he didn't win is kind of sort of preposterous, I guess you could say.
It's kind of wild.
It's very wild. It's like it's
but like you said, it speaks more on what goes into the algorithm for that more than anything.
Yeah, but overall though, like Tiger Woods now being back and very deservingly so, like being able to go through the motions that he did and come back and have, like, just in general, I believe the three most viewed clips from the PGA Tour this year was Tiger's first shot at the Masters, Tiger's final round at the Masters, and then Tiger's final round at the Open when he walked across the bridge, gave a little tip of the hat, and said goodbye forever to Sanders. So those three moments right there could probably win you the PIP. Alone.
And then honorable mention was when he showed up on that private helicopter plane, just walking out to go to that players only meeting.
No, and he hopped in the whip, and Ricky Fowler was just like behind him, like did Ricky Fowler, who hasn't played like Garbo,
biggest Batman Robin moment ever.
Just an absolute freaking beast.
Hi, Mr. Wayne.
It's like oh god, Ricky isn't even like Robin. He's like
it's like Tommy and Dill Pickles.
Kind of.
Like in the All Grown Up series.
I'm also thinking like Bob Parr and like Buddy. But like Ricky didn't become the villain. Like
it's like Scooby and Scrappy Doo.
I didn't watch enough Scooby Doo as a kid to
we gotta fix that.
My girlfriend just turned me around to watching the Peanuts for the first time, so
she's onto something.
I'm uncultured, very clearly.
We'll get you on Scooby Doo. Don't you worry about that.
I don't know. I think it's a little too late in the.
I don't think so, because like our age gap for like our age demo, Scooby Doo is like it's fully back. Like the nostalgia got injected into everyone's veins.
The only Scooby Doo that I like remember watching was the movies with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Fantastic films.
Velma was hot in those films.
She's now in Marvel.
What does she do now?
She's Hawkeye's wife.
Oh, really?
Shout out Linda Cardellini, baby.
I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. By the way, saw Black Panther last night. Freaking epic.
Amazing. We will talk about that for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the other side. When we come back, we have some more news. Rory McIlroy's semi-official money count has come in. It's bonkos in comparison to what he made versus Dustin Johnson on his Live Golf Tour. We'll talk Black Panther a little bit, or Wakanda Forever, or whatever other joke you want to make about the actual name, because I saw so many on Twitter. And we're talking about what to see at the end of this year, the top 10 moments from the 2022 season, picked by me and critiqued by KB. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on the Getting the Whole podcast. Welcome back into the Getting the Whole podcast. Steve McAvoy, KB, with you. In the world of golf, we have some news on Rory McIlroy's official money count, and it's going to blow your effing mind. It hasn't been official yet because he still hasn't played. There's the event this weekend, which he's not playing in, and then I don't know if he's going to be playing in the Hero World. But with that being said, the money count is in for Rory McIlroy. Finishing second on the PIP, he earned $12 million. He earned $18 million for winning the FedEx Cup, $1.7 million for finishing in the Comcast top 10, which is basically the top 10 players in FedEx Cup points at the end of the regular season. and won $8.65 million across 15 tournaments where he made money. With that being said, he made $40.35 million. And to give you an idea, Dustin Johnson, despite obviously getting a $200 million blood check from the Live Tour, over his 8 events made $35 million. Now, granted, Rory played in 30 events this year to DJ's 8, but I think Rory's proving to everybody that you don't have to play Live Golf in order to make some pretty damn good money. Now, look, again, number 1 player in the world. Matt Kuchar isn't doing that. Kevin Kisner isn't doing that usually. Patrick Reed most certainly wasn't going to do that. That's why he jumped ship. Pat Perez wasn't going to do it. Neither was Poulter and McDowell and Westwood and all them and Sergio. But if you're a top player in golf, looking at you, Joaquin Niemann and Cameron Smith and Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, you didn't have to jump ship. You could have very well stayed the course. You could have been like everybody else, and you could have made $40 million if you really put pedal to the metal.
I forget who it was, but I saw a quote on Twitter this week. It might have been Colin saying that, because guys jump to Live, it's made the PGA Tour more competitive.
It has. It really has. I 1,000% agree with that.
Which is like, it goes back to whether we were talking about it last week or the week before, like, these two leagues are going to learn to live, no pun intended, and do their own tours and do their own things, and it's going to be better for the sport as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, they're growing almost symbiotically when you think about it. Like, they're learning to figure out their differences. They're staying separate. This lawsuit thing is still going to roll around, but that'll happen for years. It's going to be a big filibuster. It's going to be like any political bill. It's going to just sit around for years and collect dust. So the PGA Tour did make some rash decisions, and we're going to face the consequences of those this year and next, and we'll see what worked and what didn't, because Jay Monahan acted a little rashly towards the actions of Liv. But at the same time, though, like, they did make the PGA Tour better, and I do think it's been more competitive. You've seen the higher level names ramp up competition. They've ramped up their actual training regimen. You've seen some very good names win in this fall swing because now more guys want to actually participate full-time on the PGA Tour. As of right now, the schedule for the top 50 players in the world have gone from the minimum 18 to 20 events to now guys want to play 30 events. Guys want to go from the European Tour and come play on the PGA circuit more often than not. And also, they want to prove that you can make more money on the PGA Tour and try and attract college golfers. Looking at guys, the top money list, the top money earners on the Live Tour this year, who played all 16 events. Brandon Grace won $16 million. He actually won an event. Peter Uihlein, who didn't win in a single event, made $12 million. But also, like, Hudson Swafford made $1.24 million. He made more money when he won the Amex last year than he made the entire year on Live. If you can't tell a college golfer is going to go straight from the KFT up to the PGA Tour, like a Cole Hammer or somebody, and be like, hey, this is what you can make on the PGA Tour. If you win one event, you'll win $1 million, or you can go finish last in 8 events. And yeah, it's a smaller calendar year, but you can win the same amount of money in one event as you could in 8. I would go to the PGA Tour. I want to play where it's more competitive. It's why right now the MLB winter meetings, Japanese players are now flooding the international signing pool for the MLB because Japanese baseball is not as good as the pro game. That's why players want to go to the NBA now more than ever. You don't why would Luka want to go and play in Spain still? Why did Ricky Rubio want to leave at 16? Like, it makes sense why all these guys are doing it. And alternatively, when you look at the Americans going to Europe, look at MLS soccer. Talk to the top ends guys. They can tell you right now that you look at the United States men's national team roster, and we have guys on FC Barcelona, on Borussia Dortmund, on
Leeds.
PSG.
Shout out Brendan Aronson.
Exactly. Like, there are elite
Christian
players.
Pulisic.
Yeah, exactly. Chelsea. Like, there are such elite players playing in the top flights of European football, in American baseball, and American basketball. Like, you want to play where it's the most competitive. and also where you're going to get the most eyes. And very clearly, the PGA Tour is dominant to live golf in every asset except for money. And look, I'm not going to dwell on this any more than I have to because we've already talked about the situations between everybody, like the Harold Varners who did it for the money because hey, he wants to help his kids out. He also comes from a unique situation. Golf's a rich kid sport. You probably already had a lot of money. Like
same thing with like Matthew Wolff. Like he had a unique circumstance that it made more sense for him to go.
Yeah, fine, but like for everybody else, why'd you do it? At the end of the day, Rory McIlroy is proving if you're a top player in golf. Largely, I'm critiquing Cam Smith and Joaquin Niemann at this point, two guys who were already top 20 in the world, including Dustin Johnson, who was top 10 when he left. Like, why would you do it? Because the PGA Tour simply is just better overall. KB,
I do have a quick question for you because it just popped in my head when you brought up like MLS and everything. I know golf has like the Golf Channel and like I find it similar. Like NFL has NFL Network and all that kind of. Do you think we'll ever see a full blown attempt for like a streaming platform to get sort of like rights for the PGA Tour?
Well, technically, Golf Channel is owned by NBC, and you technically do have to pay a streaming service in order to get it because it's considered like not.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like how, because like the new starting next season, MLS, every game is on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, I mean,
so they just signed that exclusive deal. Like you have NFL with like Thursday Night Football's on Prime Video, like something like that.
So technically, yeah, because NBC already has it. So technically, if I spend the $70 a year, right, I can watch every PGA Tour event. I can watch the coverage from 9 a.m. until it ends at 5 p.m. At the end of the day, like I get it. You look at like the MLS or the NFL or anything. A sporting event, an average sporting event takes 3 hours at the most. 3 hours and 30 minutes. Let's just say a soccer game takes an hour and a half. A hockey game takes 2.5 hours. Baseball's the longest at 3.5 of football. Golf takes all day. And that's the one thing that I always liked about Live was the shotgun start made it a little more intense and everything ended at the same time. And the stream would be 4 hours long because an average round of golf is 4 to 4.5 hours. If everyone's playing at a proper pace, it's 4.5 hour shotgun start, unless you have situations where it gets backed up and next thing you know, it's like 5 hours. But that happens anyways on the PGA Tour. So yeah, like you could pay the money to get it. I don't think,
or even Live. Do you think Live could get like a streaming platform to buy in? I gotta be like, hey, we're the exclusive home to.
I think Live should never even bother with a service because they're already streaming it free on YouTube and Facebook, which is something that the PGA Tour can't do. So they're actually better off, honestly, because they've even said, "Oh, we're not going to make a profit." So just stream it live. If you want to get angel investors to back you and just throw money at it to do other things aside from a television service, then great. Or you know what, the Saudis have enough money. Do you like what Trump's doing with like Truth News and like make your own thing?
Because we'll be talking about it on streamer season this week too. Netflix is trying to get into the game of getting sporting event rights. Not like the big stuff, but there's been talks of them getting like the professional surf league and like
that's cool.
Potential like tennis events and stuff like that. So it popped in my mind about golf.
I would just the one thing that I don't like about current streaming, and you could talk about this with Dylan. I think the fact that I can't go on ESPN Plus and watch reruns of the ACA is BS.
You know what might end up potentially streaming service because it's not live yet?
What?
Rory and Tiger's Monday Night Madness.
I would not be surprised if like CBS picks that up and it becomes like
Paramount Plus.
No. I would literally go as far as saying like it's the new Wipeout.
Well, I'm saying like that would be the streaming platform that it could end up on, like Paramount or something like that.
I'm saying if you did an hour-long show for golf and you put it on like a primetime slot or even like a daytime TV slot, like a 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, people would watch it. Like it's an hour-long television show. It's a stadium-style event. You sell tickets to it, and it's gonna be like Wipeout or like they had some like golf Wipeout style like thing. Like stuff like that, but it's going to be actual professional golf. I think that would be pretty cool that you can actually put it on an actual platform and show it daily. or weekly, whatever it happens to be, because it's only an hour long. I mean, golf as a whole, being as long as it is, it's tough to kind of to split it out.
That'll be on a streaming service. I can almost guarantee that.
It should be. KB, the final event of the fall swing, the RSM Classic at Sea Island down in the Carolinas. There isn't a lot going on, to be honest with you. The field's pretty much set. We're going to talk beer money on it. Not a lot of keys. If you want to go and learn more about Sea Island, go way back in the annals. We have a whole entire episode devoted to talking about the RSM Classic. But I want to get your take here on what should we expect this week? What are we looking forward to? Is there any surprises that you might be seeing? Any players you're keeping your eyes out for this week in that final fall swing? And do you think, because following this, we're going to have a month and a half long hiatus? The Hero World Challenge is not a PGA sanctioned event. It's only 20 players that'll be partaking.
It's again the whole sanctioned event.
It is, as is the PNC and everything else. But this is the last PGA Tour sanctioned event where you can earn money, FedEx Cup points, and so on. Do you think that this event has any traction for over the month and a half span? Let's say whoever wins could carry this as momentum, with the fact that you have a month and a half off.
It's tough. I think the like up and comers that are in this this field this weekend, it'll be more of a confidence boost more than a push forward, like momentum wise for them. But I think it'll give them a chance to soak in a win and not have to, kind of celebrate it for 24 to 48 hours and then move on. You'll kind of get to celebrate this one if you do win. Not that it's like a massive thing like the Masters or the U.S. Open, but like a win is a win no matter what. And, for some of the younger guys in this field, I think it'll be something that they can kind of, put in their Batman tool belt and feel good about.
I totally agree. I don't think it's going to be a high-profile event by any means. I mean, Sea Island's a really nice golf course. It was listed as one of the top 100 courses to go play that you can play. But looking at the overall field itself, when you look at the actual odds board, Brian Harman's currently the lead at plus 2,000. That's the highest profile name on the list. And when you think about where he stands and where the top players in the world are, technically the top player in this event is Harman at 24, followed by Seamus Power at 29 and Tom Hoagie at 36. So no one in the top 25 will partake this week, but I do expect to see some fireworks. There are some really good names lower down on the board. Denny McCarthy had a T2 at the Butterfield. Is a great putter, but can't really do anything else for the most part at the very least. Joel Damon, the comic card, is going to be coming in. Keith Mitchell, the visor man, will be back in. Taylor Montgomery's been on fire.
Taylor Gang.
So Heath Thagala, Davis Riley, Harris English is going to come back. He's been on the very slow climb. Aaron Ray, the guy who we made fun of for having iron covers and wears 2 gloves. Kevin Kisner, JJ Spawn, Brandon Todd. There's plenty of good names. Hayden Buckley is going to be around. I'm looking.
Your boy Trey Mullinax.
I love Trey Mullinax. He'll be there. Chris Gotterup, which is also a great name. One of those all-name team guys. I'm looking to see if anybody who is important to us. Harry Higgs will be in the field this week. Akshay Bhatia is going to be in the field. Is Grayson Murray going to be there? I don't know why. I always make it like my prerogative to see if he's playing. The last time he was playing, he was an early withdrawal.
Don't see his name on the list I'm looking at.
Good, fuck him.
Yes, just precisely. Yeah. That'll be on a shirt.
Is Grayson Murray playing today? No. Good.
Fuck him.
It's
like one of those things. It's like one of those flow charts. It's like, is Grayson Murray playing today? Yes. Ah, shit. No. Good. Fuck him. And then the yes one, it'll be like, ah, shit. Well, he's not gonna win anyway. Good. Fuck him.
KB, we're on the back end of the show here. With the fall swing ending. Now, look, things can happen this week that'll make this list. But overall, we've had a crazy 2022 year. I want to give you a little David Letterman top 10 moments
You've been waiting for one of these.
Here. I've been waiting for one of these.
Since I've met Steve, everyone, since he's come on board with us, he has wanted to incorporate a Letterman-esque segment on this show, and I'm happy you're finally getting that opportunity.
I mean, it really isn't a Letterman-esque because usually they're like fun play on words and like they're like jokes.
Yeah.
I always look back to the How I Met Your Mother scene where Barney Stinson is like talking about names of the car that I would like bang my next like body in. The Winnebago. Like those will not be incorporated. However, this is my personal top 10 moments of the PGA golf year. Had some really great moments. I'm leaving off specifically, for the most part, like wins. It's kind of like I left them off for a reason. So like my honorable mentions, Billy Horschel holding out from 50 plus yards for eagle to ice the Memorial, an incredible moment for Billy, but he won't be making it. He won't be making it. Tony Finau is not making the list, despite him having back-to-back wins at the 3M and the Rocket Mortgage. Tom Kim's first pro win at the Wyndham. On this list, I've only got 3 guys with wins, and one of them being a major, which you really can't like contend against. So with that being said, the top 10 top moments from the PGA Tour season. Number 10, the USA knocking off the international team. This was we all saw it coming. I interviewed Austin Hill, the assistant golf pro at Quail Hollow. He said that there was no way the Americans were going to lose. Everyone agreed with me. Even Ben said it. I said as far as they could win an entire day's worth of points, they came 1 point short. So to even just say that in a one-day event where you have five or six matches going on was insane. Just dominated the international team, and largely was it because of the handicapped international squad because of the Live Golf Boobers? Yeah, it was, but just a dominating performance from the USA. I don't know if you remember this. Back in February, Jordan Spieth at Pebble Beach almost died taking a shot off a cliff, 70 feet, almost to his death. Managed to hit it and scurry the hell away. That was a incredible moment that I won't forget. That was just like one of those like fun things that you're like, oh, like he very well could have like died.
Shout out Jordan Spieth. He was on College Game Day this past weekend.
He was, and he looked great in that Letterman. He looked awesome. Although, of course, he was going to pick the losers in Texas, but it is what it is. Number 8, I'm pairing 2 moments, and if only I had the video to show these, we could probably do it in post. There aren't many times that you see holes in one. I think that I'm always getting the grammar. Hole in ones or holes in one aces at major golf courses. 2 in particular happened at Sawgrass and in Phoenix at the Waste Management. Of course, we already know what happened at the Waste Management. There was 3 overall. Sam Ryder, the beer was getting fucking flung everywhere. Like it was like friggin' there was a madhouse. But Shane Lowry on the 17th at Sawgrass on the Island Green, have not seen an ace there in over a decade. Hold out for the ace. Everyone was going crazy at the Players, like a big deal. I wanted to put them both together because what my number 7 is relates kind of to the hole in one saga. Number 7 was when Harry Higgs pulled his shirt up at the Waste Management, just showing off the hamburger meat that's all over his chest.
It's crazy that was this year.
It's crazy that it happened in February.
Like that feels like it happened like 5 years ago.
Like it feels like eons ago, and the guy lost his tour card, which is like the worst like feeling on earth. Number 6, one of the first wins here. Zalatoris' first career win happened in the playoffs. The FedEx St. Jude at TPC Southwind in Memphis. The Music City was exactly where it should have happened for Zalatoris. Ball straight his way to an absolute clinic, a 3-hole playoff, and netted his first win. Pushed him up to the top of the board for the FedEx Cup title. Unfortunately, didn't win it, of course, because Rory did. But an absolute incredible showing. Finally, after 2 years of waiting for a Will Zalatoris win, he finally got it back in August. Number 5, dead in the middle, and I think it's a perfect salute to him. Tiger's return to golf. When he announced he's going to go play at Augusta, when he posted the video in March saying, "Hey, I'm coming back," had his progress video again, one of the most retweeted and liked video in golf history. Just Tiger's return to golf overall was easily a top moment. However, it wasn't the number 1 moment. Number 4, also a win, but also like a string of wins. Just Scotty Scheffler's meteoric, ridiculous February through April. 6 wins in 8 events, including the green jacket for his first major, winning at Arnie's place at Bay Hill, winning the Phoenix Open. Like, just all of these ridiculous accolades for a player of his caliber, on top of the fact that we were there at Eastland doing our whole live event, watching Scotty Scheffler win the green jacket. So, like, that all kind of just, like, encompasses the moment there for number 4. Number 3, I mentioned it earlier, Tiger Woods, the salute to St. Andrews after he missed the cut. Just like the image of him, it looks like an Abbey Road cover where it's just him, the hat off. I'm gonna post an almost Friday like grid of like all the top moments too. So that'll most certainly be one of the top ones that you'll see. He's never gonna play St. Andrews again, ever, unless someone wins an all expenses paid trip to, like, oh, play one round with Tiger Woods at St. Andrews when he's like 70 years old. He will never play a professional round at St. Andrews ever again, which is like so sad at the home of golf. Number 2, for those of you who don't remember when Matt Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Open, I'm going to retell the story. He won the U.S. Amateur 4 years earlier. He stayed in a house with the guest family. He slept in a bed. He wore the same clothes. He did the exact same fucking thing 4 years later and won the U.S. Open at the country club. The story itself is worthy for me to give him the number 2 spot, but the actual fact that he did everything and won the same place 4 years later that he won the amateur is just like ridiculous. The bucktooth kid of Matt Fitzpatrick, who I said earlier this year has the most punchable face in golf, has become one of those hashtag my guys. So
look at that. That's called character development, baby.
That's something like of mice and men shit, like a real grown up story. And number 1, I'm going to put it lightly, Rory McIlroy shitting on Liv for the entire month of from June to December. Just this entire second half of the year. Rory McIlroy taking over and becoming the protector of the PGA, winning the RBC Canadian Open, just demolishing Greg Norman, like I had said earlier on the show. And yeah, that was it. Those are the top 10 moments, in my opinion, from the PGA Tour calendar. Do you have any rebuttals to that? I know the Rory and Colin hole out at the Masters is one of those things for you. I just don't see where I could put it. Maybe like 9, maybe. But I think the Spieth shot at Pebble is just like the scare factor there was just too good.
I think the one above all is us beefing with Grayson Murray.
I mean,
that's Hall of Fame. That's Hall of Fame level.
I was gonna put it on there, but this is specifically on the course.
I mean, technically, it transpired onto the course.
Technically, yes, he broke his club and went 13 over par, but like also,
we live rent free in his head.
We're building hotels.
Trying to think of anything else that like stands out.
I mean, of course, like Rory winning the Tour Championship like stands out, but like among the top 10 list, I wouldn't put it there per se.
Yeah, I think you got pretty much everything that I can think of like off the top of my head.
I don't know why I was just sent this, but I was sent a graphic of the 06-07 Cavs roster, and it's so bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas, what a great player. With that being said, KB, time to end the show on a high note. The RSM Classic at Sea Island tees off tomorrow. Sorry, I have basketball on my mind. I'm going to the Barclays tonight. It's time for some beer money brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. We're going to break down the RSM Classic at Sea Island. Kenwood Beer, the official light beer of Philadelphia. You
want the new tagline that is on their website.
We have a new tagline?
Yeah. I just discovered this on their website when I was on there. They also have hoodies and crew necks for this cold weather. Go get them while they're available because their merch sells out quicker than Supreme. Like, it goes, and when it's gone, it's gone. I will also be asking them when the beer golf glassware will be back in stock, hopefully soon. But Kenwood beer, it's 4.18% ABV, 127 calories, 10 grams of carbs, light body, light calories, plenty of flavor, the best light beer on the planet. Go to kenwoodbeer.com and use that all new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in your area. Philadelphia only right now, but they are working on expanding. So go to kenwoodbeer.com. You got to be 21 or older to do so, and of course, please drink responsibly.
There you go. Kenwood beer, man. The cult hero of Philadelphia, low-key.
Yeah.
And look, you know what? Despite the Phillies losing the World Series and despite the Eagles not beating the Commanders, you can still chow down on some Kenny's. We still have a whole half of a football season.
Holidays are right around the corner. You should be cracking open Kenny's at the Thanksgiving table, at your holiday gift exchanges, everything. Kenny's on deck.
You know what? My office is doing a white elephant. I actually might just buy a 12-pack of Kenny's and just say fuck it.
Hey, first, Phillies Tailgate Live Pod. Kenwood Beer is on board with us for it, so shout out to Kenwood.
Let me know when it is. I'll pull up.
April 8th, 2023.
So the Masters weekend. Great.
Yes. Day before Easter.
Oh, I'm going to be obliterated. Top 20 at the RSM. What do you got?
Top 20. Looking here. Let's see. Got to scroll up from the place where I was just looking at everybody's names. I'm going to go with your boy, Trey Mullinax.
I like the pick. Very good pick. You know, this event, I could have broken this down earlier, but this is an event notorious for the upsets. Guys come from so far down on the leaderboard and manage to win these events, and I love it.
He's plus 8,000 to win, by the way.
Some keys to victory here, so I can kind of give you an idea of who I'm taking here. Strokes gained approach, good drives gained is really important. Bermuda grass here on this par 70. What is that? A par 70, 7,000 yards. The plantation course, the par 72. So it's two different courses this week. Both very similar tree line courses. Average finish should be around 19 under to 22 under par. Taylor Gooch won here last year before his climb, and then departure to live. So back-to-back weeks, we're not going to see a repeat champion because Coke Rapp last week obviously went to live, as did Taylor Gooch. Every score over the last 5 years has finished between 19 and 22 under par, just so you know. 3 straight years, it was 19 under, so we've got a prop bet on tap, bet for 19 under par. That's kind of like where we're sitting at. It's seaside, so approach game is going to be important. It'll be pretty wet, so the ball will sit up for the most part. Good drives gained. The fairway is really important. It's more of a predictive stat than fairways gained as well. Bermuda grass is going to be really important. The winners of the RSM Classic are always really good Bermuda grass putters, so something to keep in mind of. Birdie or better gained opportunities basically to get those birdies or better. And strokes gained on par fours. There's a lot of par fours on this golf course. There are not a lot of par fives and only a few par threes. Technically speaking, based on the model, Tony Finau was supposed to play this week, and he actually would have been the number one player to bet on. But with that being said, top 20, I'm going to take Kevin Kisner. There are very few golf courses that Kevin Kisner like circles on the calendar. He basically writes himself off for every single event, but like the 5 courses that he always plays well at, this is one of them. He plays really good at the Wyndham. He plays really good at the RBCs. This is the one golf course in the fall swing that he loves. He loves playing in the Carolinas. Kevin Kisner for a top 20 at plus 260 is a really good play for me. Top 10, KB.
Kevin Kisner is my top 10.
I love it. My top 10 is Denny McCarthy. Again, he puts the ball really well, but he can't do anything else. At the end of the day, though, that's all you really got to do is putt it really well. And he's the third best player in the field on the Bermuda grass putting surface. Top 5. What do you got?
Top 5. I'm going to run it back with the Taylor gang. Taylor Montgomery, who's also plus 2,500 to win. Give me Taylor Montgomery at top 5.
I'm taking this guy to possibly win. But I'm going to also put him here for a top 5. He is. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly what his number is to win this week. It's like really, really, really good. It is. Where are you? Damn it! I can't even find it. I'm gonna take Scott Stallings for top 5. Scott Stallings has the biggest arms on the PGA Tour. Like he's like built like a rock.
Like a rock or the rock?
No, like he's like a rock.
I want to see him arm wrestle our very own Ben Piro. Because Ben has some pretty massive arms as well.
In my opinion, I think he should probably kick his ass. To win, Scott Stallings he's way down. Plus 6,500 to win. So pretty good number there. I'll take him though for a top 5. Your gimme pick of the week. We both connected last week. What do you got?
My gimme pick is just going to be fun, and it just popped in my head when I saw his name. For a top 20, give me Davis Riley. For a top 20. Ow!
I'm taking 3 guys for top 30s this week for my gimme. I'm going to parlay all 3 of them, and I'm going to knock them out of the park.
My man's going Blue Eyes White Dragon polymerization on this, John.
What?
What Yu-Gi-Oh? You got 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, and you're using polymerization. Bam, about to fuse them things together. Have a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon pick.
Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh reference?
Yes.
I'm crying. Brian Harmon, who's the pick leader right now at plus 2,000. Chance Power at plus 2,500 to win. I'll take him for a top 30 as well. And Keith Mitchell, who's plus 3,100 to win. I'm going to take all 3 of them for top 30s this week. You parlay it together. That's a nice plus 650 on the bookie. I'll take that to the bank.
Not bad.
You hit on Tony Finau last week. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Are you going to go back to back?
Man, it'd be real nice if I go back to back. Shout out to Tony Finau. It feels right for the last event of the year that we go with somebody we talk about quite frequently. Shout out to Kyle Schwarber. Shout out to the Wawa. We're going Hoagie Fest on this, John. Give me Tom Hoagie for the dub.
I'm joining you. Tom.
Let's go. It's Hoagie Fest.
You know when the expert picks Tom Hoagie, it's like all of a sudden like, oh my God, my bet's so good.
Let's go.
The second I saw these odds, I said, Tom fucking Hoagie. I'm taking it to the bank. Oh my God.
Plus 2,000? That's delicious.
Dude, 2,800. Even better now.
Love it.
Sorry, I heard a noise. I think it's my girlfriend in the bathroom. I could have swore I heard like sobbing, which I don't know what's happening. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. I got in on him at plus 2,800, so I'm over the moon right now. Tom Hoagie, top 5 in every statistical measure. He's the 3rd highest ranked player in the field this week. I threw the money on him to give you an idea of all the players who won this fall swing. Max Homa was 18-1. Hughes was 100-1. Tom Kim was 25-1. Bradley was 30-1. McAvoy was 7-1. Powers 20-1. Henley 35-1. And Finau 16-1. On average, that means you would have been 28-1 to win. What's Tom Hoagie? 28-1 to win. It sounds like the law of averages, and Murphy's Law is pushing me over the finish line. Tom Hoagie is going to win, and if we lock this in, I'm going to go freaking AWOL.
That'd be huge. That'd be huge.
Huge.
We're going to tweet at Wawa about that one.
Please, final thoughts, KB. Anything you want to talk to the kids about before we go home?
I want to give a shout out for Ferda Brand. This past week at the Houston Open, we did have somebody get in the hole. Ryan Armour made a hole-in-one at number 7, 169-yard par 3. Nice during the 3rd round. It's the 2nd ace of his PGA Tour career and the 1st since 2020 at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I feel like every week, Steve, on this show, since it is the namesake, we should be highlighting our pure aces.
We should be, actually. The ace cam is live, as they say, at all times. I have 2 things I want to shout out. An article that was released actually about an hour and a half ago from Mark Schlauback from ESPN. Rory McIlroy said to Greg Norman, hold on. Let me get the quote right. He said about Greg Norman, the PGA Tour and the Live Golf feud need adults, and the PGA Tour has plenty. Wow. Rory's 20 years younger than Greg Norman, and to say he's more of an adult than Greg is like speaking mountains.
Can I reference, since we're both musical theater people, I just want to be in the room where that happened.
I went to a Halloween party, and it was next door to the final resting place of Alexander Hamilton. And the one thing that was on the invitation was, oh, you get to hang out with the ghost of Alexander Hamilton.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Don't you dare sing any tunes, though. My final shout-out, though, goes to Steve Alker, who won the Charles Schwab Championship in the Champions Tour, took out Bernard Langer, took out Vijay Singh, took out the whole crew. He was a journeyman golfer for a long time in his career, and he finally made he wasn't a household name until he got to the Champions Tour, won a bunch of times, got his first title at 54, and then finally, my only other thing, welcome back to golf, Tiger Woods. Welcome back, baby. I'm the return of the Mac. He's the return of the cat. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your week. Let's go,
man.
From the Get in the Hole podcast. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!